Hello, hello. Good morning, everyone. Great morning, actually. So, real quick with all of you. So, I just wanted to give you a little bit of information because this is the first time actually that I'm trying this new system, but I have no idea how it works. But it'll actually be, it's a system that actually allows me to stream on YouTube. It allows me to stream on Facebook, and it allows me to stream on Twitter as well. I couldn't figure it out how to allow me to share on Instagram. But either way, I'm live right now on Facebook and YouTube. And simply the reason why I'm doing that is because I I made the decision to go ahead and just provide information, provide something of value, not just that, but also valuable information that it's valuable, but at the same time it could be entertaining, it could be a little bit fun, and not just your typical all boring information that typically you get fit into. So I'm trying this new system. However, I just cannot figure out how I can share with you all what I want to share. I hope that you are able to see it. But either way, if you cannot, we'll we'll go ahead and then I think I'm able to share it now. There we go. Awesome, awesome. All right. So what I wanted to show you, what I wanted to go ahead and show you was an article that I actually came across today. It actually came last night, actually, and it's the president of the United States, what has gotten into our country, and really what's happening right now in today with everything that we're seeing right now in our country, as far as the political parties, as far as the inflation that we're seeing, and just how divided our country has really become. And really, this info is not really to just take any sides, but it's more than anything just to give you a little bit of what I'm seeing, what I'm seeing happening. So there was an article last night that actually came out from the Wall Street Journal, and as you can see right here, they actually they actually went into search for the Mar-a-Lago property that the former president has, and this is an ongoing case that we've been seeing, from back in 2021, last year, when president was on his way out, and then you saw the invasion, right? The raid, the White House, when all of the citizens started attacking the place. Well, there are claims that before the president, gave the order or whatnot. There's a lot of theories, but either ways, the point is that they searched the home last night, and it was obviously due to the fact that there was some classified information that was taken from the White House, and it's been stored at the property in Mar-a-Lago for Donald Trump. And so, they went to search the house yesterday. I think that the president was briefly there. He didn't answer obviously any questions because he had a team of lawyers present. But the point is that they raided the property. They went on to search, and now what we're seeing now is that Republicans, because again, we have the Republicans and Democrats, and now with midterms right around the corner, which is in November, is it August, September, October, November, less than 3 months away, we are actually starting to see this. And for me personally, this is just my point of view. Okay, I could be totally wrong, but this is just how I see it. Midterms are around the corner. Okay, so what happens during midterms? Obviously, the seats get switched depending on votes. So if Republicans take over the majority seats, they ultimately have the say so. I don't know. If you guys saw the bill that was passed a couple of days ago, well, it was obviously overtaken by vice president who had the final vote. And so that's really what it comes down to when the midterms comes. So obviously Democrats and Republicans are doing what they can to take control of the seat. And so right now it seems like Republicans are way ahead of that race, simply because of everything that we're seeing now, with just the inflation, and also with the handling of the country. So with that, there comes this, right? The search of a former president who happens to be a Republican, and now the House obviously gets searched because of whatever classified information is being held there. So again, for me, it's more about a political point. And yes, the classified information might be there, but at the end of the day, what a coincidence that all of this is happening as we see Democrats starting to lose control, starting to lose the faith of really who's going to take control of the Senate. And then so now we're seeing this. Anyways, so if they if Republicans are able to take control of the Senate, they can subpoena the authorities, and based on this article, they could face up to 5 years. Now, the Speaker Nancy Pelosi, apparently, she didn't know of the search of the home until the day of. I don't know how true that is, but either way, the search, we have never seen a search like this that we can record, just like president says, like the former president says here, nothing like this has ever happened to a president of the United States. Yes, correct. That has never happened. And again, I'm not here to take political sides in any way, but we have not also seen a very controversial precedent like this in the past before. Now, that could be a good thing, that could be a bad thing. Take it how you want to take it, make it whatever you want to make it. The point of the matter is that you know what we're seeing now, how our country has become very divided, and obviously we're seeing this. To me, is very interesting because this is one of the topics that Ray Dalio talks about during his 30-minute book on how the economy engine works, and also the rise and fall of a nation, when they're in control. He talks about usually when another country, in this case China, who is coming and starting to really take over, not take over, but they're starting to show flashes that they're going to be the next powerful nation in the world. And then you have little distractions, not little, but big distractions like this happening in our country. This spills this sounds like a recipe for that actually to happen, for our country to really be distracted in our own, here what's happening in our country. And then you have a country like China who is doing whatever they can to take over the control of the entire world. So for me, this is interesting on how we are putting ourselves in this position. And again, we are being very divided. And this is my point of view. My point of view does not have to be yours. You may have a completely point of view of what you see, how you see things, but how I see it, and I could be totally wrong, but how I see it is we're coming very divided. We're not united like a 2001 when 9/11 happened, where the entire country became united and we're all united forces. Even myself, I was in high school during that time, and I was even inspired at that time to go ahead and join the military. And I had already made it in my mind that I was going to join the United States Marine Corps, and that's exactly what I did. But an event like that can inspire a 16, a 17-year old to see an event like that, to actually take action and do that, right? That is how united our country was. But what we're seeing today, and this is really unfair for some of us, most of us that are parents that are in our mid 30s, late 20s, mid 30s, early 40s, that our children are actually not getting to, see what we experienced growing up when our country was very united. Now, don't get me wrong, our country, we have always had dilemmas. It's like a marriage, right? A marriage is not perfect. We're always going to have problems in our marriages for those of us that are married. So it's not always going to be perfect. But the point is that there's always that something that unites us. And that's what we're missing today. We don't have that. We don't seem to have that anymore because everybody's united. Gay rights, abortion rights, black and white, Latino, whatever that controversial topic it is, Yes, it is real. Yes, it is. But that is the exact same thing that is uniting us, dividing us. If y'all remember, Martin Luther King had a dream, and that was for all of us to be equally the same. Abraham Lincoln had a dream as well, and that was for all of us to be equally the same, to have the same rights, and to not be divided. Okay, so this what we're seeing now, it's it's something to be of a concern, to be alarming, because where is this going to lead to? Where are we going to be heading into if we can take care of our own domestic issues, right? It's like, again, I go back, it's like a marriage. If I can't take care of my relationship here while I'm at home, when I'm in with my kids, with my spouse, my wife, if I can't take care of that, how can I take care of somebody else? How can I take care? How can I lead a team? How can I be that person that they look up to me, for me to lead them? Right? I'm supposed to be the leader, and yet I can't take care of my own personal stuff. So this is what we're seeing right now. How can we lead an entire world? How can we be the world's leading nation in everything, but yet we can't take care of our own problems? And if we are able to, great. But things like this is what divides our country. And again, I'm not justifying absolutely anything. I'm not taking absolutely no sides on, yes, it was right for the FBI, because I know there's going to be a lot of you that are going to say, yeah, but he did this, yeah, but he did that. No, they shouldn't have done this. They shouldn't have done this. This is not about that. This is about how our country is being really, really divided right in front of our eyes, and most of us can't even see that, because we have those blinds in front of us and we're not able to see. So that is what I think. That is what I see when I think of this. When I think of this stuff that we're seeing right now happening at this specific moment. So again, this is my own personal point of view. This is what I see. This is what I what I can analyze and see on how really, really we are being split right in front of our eyes. Anyways, with that being said, I wanted to touch that real quick, but there's another sub topic that I want to talk about, because as you already know, I'm involved in real estate, and I love real estate, not just because that's what I do, but I also love real estate because of of how it just is able to help you create long-term wealth. So I'm going to talk about a little bit about that. But anyways, this is my point of view. These are what you call it, right? My 2 cents. It's really not 2 cents. It's really my $1 million point of view, because if you can spot that, if you are able to see for yourself and make your own decision for yourself without being influenced by an outside force or by somebody else, then you can make a better decision on what really to believe, what really to see, rather than believing what you're being told. Because again, this is my point of view. I'm not telling you that you agree with me, because that is not what I'm saying. But I'm saying, though, that that's just what I see. You make your own case. Anyways, the second topic that I wanted to talk to you about, surprise, surprise, home inventory. It has soared to a record rate, with US buyers pulling back from the market, and that is due to the fact that interest rates, they went down slightly. They continue to go up. With that said, we are still at an all-time low with interest rates. So this just comes down to fear that we're heading into a huge economic crash. Now, I'm not saying a depression or a crash, like everybody likes to call it, a crash. Okay, I'm not saying that, but I'm saying, with the fear that most people think that we're heading to winter times, which we are heading to winter. Summer and spring do not last forever. We have to go through our economic cycles as well. So what we saw last year, the 2020 and 2021, during the real estate boom and the interest rates being as low as they were, that was spring, and that was 2020 was spring, and then 2021 was summer. Okay, 2020 was getting us ready for summer. which it was 2021, and now we're here, 2022. Obviously, we already know, and I always talk about this, how the Federal Reserve it's raising interest rates in order to make it more expensive for the consumer and the buyer to go out there and get a loan. And this goes to any type of loan. I'm talking about credit cards, car loans, personal loans, you name it. It's not just real estate. Understand that, because I get a lot of questions all the time when Federal Reserve raises interest rates, and I make a video about that and I post it. I get asked the question. So that means that if interest rates were, if they raised it 0.75%, if they were 5.25, are they going to be 6%? No, that's not exactly what it really means. It's just an overall. Think of it like an index. Okay. When they said we're going to raise the interest rates, it's an index. It tracks pretty much everything that is being borrowed, everything that is being loaned. So that includes mortgages. So when they say I'm going to raise it 0.75 basis points, we're talking about 75 basis points overall in the entire index. And however, that's going to affect either positively or negatively to the mortgage interest rates, then that's the increase that we will see. But it don't necessarily mean that if it's 5.25 and then the rate's at 75 basis points, that is going to go to 6%. That is not exactly what it means. Not exactly. Anyways, with that, again, we're seeing the supply of homes. This is an article by Bloomberg. Of sales across the United States grew at a record rate last month. Another sign that the higher mortgage costs are cooling down the housing market. Again, this was done strategically in order. There was a purpose of why Fed Reserve Jerome Powell did what he did, and this is exactly the result that he wanted to see. So we're seeing nothing that surprises here. The number of active listings nationwide jumped 31% from a year earlier, a record high increase from a third straight month, according to a report by Realtor.com. Now we're going to have a report by the National Association of Realtors for July's numbers. That's going to come out on August 12th. So expect those reports when, as soon as those comes out, I'm going to give those out. But we are going to have those reports coming out on August the 12th. And those are going to reflect, we're going to see numbers there. How much has inventory increased? How much has it decreased in how much sales have we seen decrease? The prices, it goes by region. So it'll be really easy to understand because we have the mid region, the east region, the south region, the west region, and so we'll be able to see that. But look, take a look at this chart. So U.S. home source supply source, the inventory list increased in July. Okay, I can tell you that I have had multiple potential sellers coming up to me, asking me that they want to list their house for sale. So I do believe that because believe me, last year I struggle to get listings. Okay, I struggle to get listings simply because there was not enough, and the ones that were coming out. Don't get me wrong, there was transactions every single day being done, but for me, was challenging to get those listings simply because of the lack of inventory that we were seeing. I think we saw it at a 1.1 month of inventory. A typical healthy market is anywhere from 3 to 6 months. You can imagine if we were at a 1 month of inventory, how was that going to affect? So here you take a look at that. This is exactly what I was talking about. Annual change in active listings. So since July of 2019, we actually saw that the listings was just decreasing. You go to October 1st, 2019, we saw a decrease in active listings of by 7.4%. You go to January 2020, right before COVID, okay, 14.3. You go to April, now we're in COVID, 17%. You go to October, 39%. This is exactly what I was talking to you about. And during 2020, 21, take a look at this. 2021, minus 40. April, minus almost almost 50% less of inventory during April 2020. 60, almost 60, 55% less. You go to July 2021, 35%. We're starting to see a little bit of increase. October, we see a little bit more increase by what is it, by almost I would say about 12%. And then you go to January 22, now we're seeing it at maybe 28%. But if you go back to April to January, now we're seeing almost a 25% increase from April of 2020 to January 21, April 2021 to January 2022. Now we're seeing an increase of 25%. Now, if you go to January, when this is when all the talks were being done by the Fed Reserve, where we were going to see those increases. Now we're seeing 28%, and then now you go to July 1st, 2022, that is a jump of almost 60%, 58%. Think about that. So yes, from April, where we pretty much saw a flat 8%, 0%, to July 2022, we're seeing an increase of 30%. So that just goes to show you that what we obviously what the Federal Reserve, the effort to curve all the prices that we're seeing, inflation and the benchmark, it has worked. So all that housing frenzy, all that refi, all that over asking, list the house 50,000 more, put another $50,000 more over asking. That was the house frenzy. I don't know why people thought that was going to be the end of the world, and then you were going to miss an opportunity. But then again, that is just the take for every individual, because every individual operates differently. Not because I may see it a certain way, it means that you or everybody else needs to see it the same way that I see it. That is not what it is. But either way, some individuals went ahead and they just started making excessive amount of offers. But as you can see here, by July, the median price is $449,000. That is 17% up from a year ago, and this is close to an all-time high that it reached back in June. $449,000 on average. Now, it doesn't mean that every house is 449,000. Average just means it's the nationwide average. Okay, because you find in the area out here in Southern California where I live. If you have a 4-bedroom, 2-bath, let's just say a 2,300 square feet, that house typically built in 2000, that we're probably going to, depending on the area, we're probably going to see it anywhere from 600, 625,000, sometimes even 700,000, probably 550,000, maybe 500,000. But that is still higher than the 449,000. Now you go to a place like Idaho or Nebraska, one of those rural areas, you're not going to find them at 449,000, obviously, because the the job demand, it's not there. So the cost of living adjustment, it has to adjust to the price and the demand of those locations. So new listings last month contracted for the first time since March, down 2.8%. Okay. So again, this is something very, very unique that we'll be seeing here, just coming up in the next couple months, and see how all of this is going to play out, because what we'll be experiencing in the next couple months. And with that, is, again, it's very interesting to see where our market is going to be hitting. Some people are predicting that we'll be seeing a recession. Some others are predicting some type of a depression, and some others are saying that this will be the worst housing crash, not housing crash, but economic crash that we have ever seen in our entire lifetimes. I don't know how true, how accurate that might be, but I can tell you that economic winters are inevitable. They always happen. And we're due for one. And we're going to see one. That's inevitable. If you don't see that, if you cannot see that, then you're being a little bit naive, because we're going to see one. We're definitely going to see an economic winter coming very soon. Some are predicting anywhere from 12 to 18 months. Some others are saying 6, 12 to 18 months. If you take into paper and then you really get analytical, 2 consecutive quarters of negative GDP, that is gross domestic product production. When we report negative numbers, we are officially in a recession. That is what happened, during this first 2 quarters. Right now we're in quarter number 3. But during the first 2 quarters, we saw 2 negative consecutive numbers. So that means that we're officially in the recession. But the government is not going to tell you that. They're not going to tell me that. You have to do your own due diligence to understand. But if you do your research and just really study or listen to the wealthy, the ones that are actually doing big things in business, not Nancy Pelosi, okay, not the government, not even Jerome Powell, who's in charge of the Federal Reserve. If you actually listen to the Warren Buffetts, the Ray Dalios, okay, people that are worth billions, hundreds of billions, Mark Zuckerberg from Facebook, Jeff Bezos, if you listen to all of them, they all will tell you that we are in an economic recession. And I believe them better than the government. Nothing against the government, again, but when it comes to business, I have a better belief towards someone that's doing it big, 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 and understands what the economy recession is versus the government that is going to tell me what I want to hear. And I don't want to hear what I want to hear. I want to hear what I don't want to hear, if that makes sense. But anyways, with that, I just wanted to show you a little bit about, we touch a little bit about, the search that we saw with Donald Trump's house last night. That's going to bring a, this is not the last time we're going to hear about this. I'm sure that it's going to cause some type of dilemma, some type of trouble in the next couple of months, and you'll hear about it. Believe me, you're going to hear about it once the Republicans, because midterms in November are going to be very, very interesting if Republicans take over. And you're going to see from now until then, Democrats starting to do whatever they possibly can to take control of that Senate because they don't want to lose the seat. They don't want to lose the say so. It's like, somebody's trying to take over my home and telling me, hey, I'm going to make the decision. I'm going to do whatever the heck I can to make sure that doesn't happen. So that's what Republicans are basically doing right now because they see that the Democrats, I'm sorry, that's what they see, that the Republicans are ahead in the poll, and they're most likely are going to take control of that. If that happens, expect some big, big, big lawsuits, being thrown back and forth between, what happened last night, the FBI, searching the former president's home. But with that, again, the housing market, we're seeing more inventory coming up and very interesting to see what's going to happen in the next couple of months. With that, thank you so much for watching this stream. This is the first time that I'm actually trying this system. It's pretty cool because I can actually share with you. I can actually touch a screen. You can actually share. I don't know if you're able to see my screen when I was sharing. I'm not sharing anymore, but this is very cool because you can actually see it on YouTube. You can actually see it on Facebook, and you can actually see it on Twitter Live. And this is one of the things that I'm going to be doing because I believe that if I can give you a little bit of value, if I can provide you a little bit of information that you otherwise wouldn't hear in the TV, and I'm not talking about TMZ, I'm not talking about the Today Show, I'm not talking about, if you're Hispanic, Telemundo and all of that. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about just really valuable content that may serve you make a better decision. And at the same time, my YouTube channel is about, some of the mistakes that I went through in my own personal life that I want to share with you how you can, because we all go through certain stages in life, and so I went through those. So my goal is to be a bridge builder so that I can get you faster to where you want to be along the way while I'm in the journey as well. But as I'm learning, I want to share it back to you and pay it forward. That is the purpose of the YouTube channel, and this purpose is just to provide you valuable content. And I hope that you can take that and then you can follow us on our YouTube channel as well. With that being said, thank you for watching, and then we'll see you in the next one. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.